Hey guys, ExoBlit here and welcome to another new series, the 3-0 challenge, where I have 30 minutes to transform these given stock photos into whatever I would like and see where it ends up. I'm just warning you right now, this one is terrible. It's probably going to be the worst one ever, so I'm just warning you here. I was on a very fast pace because I only have 30 minutes to complete this artwork. It usually takes me like an hour or two to finish like a regular artwork, which it really shouldn't for those terrible images that I've created before. But I'm trying to get back on my feet right now. This one, it's terrible. I just want to celebrate the Mars rover landing that just landed a few days ago, and just, you know, thinking about the future of everybody in spacecrafts landing on Mars. I just realized that there was only one spacecraft in this image, so yeah, I should have done more. But I mean, if I'd done more, I wouldn't have enough time. Anyways, let's just I guess jump into Photoshop again. So of course I started out with this basic composition. I added a solid color to make a sunlight, of course, because the sunlight is going to be my primary light source, and it just didn't turn out right. So I mean, it was the wrong color and everything. So that's just something that I'm just warning you for. Next, I wanted to work on the spacecraft. I got these cool fire trails, so I wanted to, like, you know, give the impression that it is pretty fast. So I scaled these down to all 3. I know there's a 4th one, but that's off screen, so it doesn't matter. But this one also took a little while because I had to get the right position right. But I think at the end it actually did turn out pretty cool. Next up, I really just wanted to start on the highlights, but of course I had to literally color correct everything. Well, the really bad color correction. So I just had to change the lights at the back of the exhaust and just had to change it to the right color of the fire, or it wouldn't make sense if it's blue. And I messed it up multiple times by making this an image layer and not a smart mask thingy error. I don't know what I'm saying. After I finished those, I realized it looked horrible, but I just proceeded on to do it. And I had to add the fire, obviously back because whatever. And I had to add the glows. But then I realized something, that the back of the damn fire trail was cut off. So I had to literally fade those out to make it look better, even though it made it look even horrible. But I don't care. And then I added the glows for all 3 of them. Even though it was supposed to be 4, I just said 3 because I was just too lazy apparently. And I just wanted to add the glows. I don't know. Yeah, the glows. Then I just realized the glows did look pretty cool. But yeah, then I had to start adding an exposure layer to, add the shadows. And the shadows, I mean, it's gonna make it darker, so the lighting pops out a lot more. And it made it easier for me to make highlights, obviously, when it's darker. Because you know literally where to, like, draw the highlights. So I just painted the whole thing black. Well, not black, just pretty dark. Because space is dark. And just, I got a hue and saturation layer. Made it colorize, changed it to the sun's color, and just started painting it manually. Yeah, it's a hard life, but it turned out okay at the end. Then I used blend if to remove all the dark areas, and just, yeah, that made it pretty easy for me to redirect the highlights. After doing those for way too damn long, I had to proceed to make the sunlight instead, because obviously the back was supposed to be for the fire. And now I had to make the sunlight, that's not the sunlight, the highlights for the sun. After I finished those highlights from the sun, I had to make the entire spacecraft motion blurred because obviously it's heading towards Mars to colonize there. So I added a motion blur towards, and it actually kind of looked cool. Then I started adding the highlights for the asteroids, which took a long time because there were individual pieces I had to damn highlight, and it took me a long time to, well, match the highlights. So it took me a little while. It looked at the end. Then I added a depth of field blur just to get more immersion, I guess. I don't know, just to make it look more kind of realistic. It doesn't look realistic at all, but just it adds a nice touch. After doing those blurs, I had to add more highlights on the other asteroids right under Mars, or right next to the screen, the bottom left. And this one, I was so lazy, I just painted one time on the entire thing and just faded it out. After finishing those asteroids that took me like, I don't know, a few minutes, I finally got to Mars. And the Mars looked nothing like a realistic thing, but yeah, I mean, I had to add a shadow at the edge just to make it a little more realistic. Added a little more depth, but it looked okay. Then I added the highlights for Mars, and it didn't really make any change, so that was kind of a waste of time. after doing all of those, I have to add one more solid layer and one more solid color layer, and I had to, well, add the faint glows to the highlights just to add a little more, what do I call it, glowiness, just to make it pop a little bit. It made it worse. After doing all that terrible lazy work, I finally got to the camera raw filter, and I just adjusted all my settings there, and it made it look better, but nothing like good. So sorry. Yeah. And boom, here you go. The most terrible thing I've ever seen in my entire life. It makes me throw up every time I see it. But the camera raw filter definitely did improve a lot of the lighting, so I think that did do a better job, but it just looked terrible at the end. My favorite part of this is probably just the spaceships, highlights for the sun. That looks the most realistic to me. I like that. And the back, of course, but everything else just looks terrible. The asteroids, the Mars especially just looks terrible. So that's basically it. So yeah, that was just the 3-0 challenge. I'm definitely gonna do more of these in the future, but yeah, if you guys want to suggest any more challenges for me, please feel very free to leave a comment, and please subscribe, because I am desperate for subscriptions, and I would love for you guys to subscribe. Even though I'm not getting monetized yet, I would love to grow there. So please, if you enjoy my overall content, please subscribe. Maybe even turn on the bell. Alright, if you want to be notified every week just for my terrible videos, be very brave and turn on the notifications. Also, like the video if you did enjoy it. If you did not enjoy it, leave a dislike. But if you enjoyed it, just go ahead, leave a like. I'm gonna leave a dislike because I hated it, but if you want to leave a like, go ahead. It's your opinion. So thank you for joining me on this journey, and I have bigger plans for the future. So yeah, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.